Paris in November. Now there's a thought. It's like the city knows we all need a little break before the holiday chaos kicks in, so it throws an art party. And judging by all these articles you sent over, this party's going to be one for the books.
You certainly have a knack for curating the Parisian art scene. We've got big-name exhibitions, thought-provoking contemporary stuff, even some nods to the classics. Sounds like you're after a real experience, not just another museum hop.
You hit the nail on the head. I love to really dive deep into the art world. But who has the time to sift through endless articles and reviews to find the hidden gems? That's where you come in, guide me to the good stuff.
Well, let's start with something you'll notice in a lot of these articles: immersive art experiences. Paris is really taking it up a notch. Imagine stepping right into the world of, say, Asterix and Obelix.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, the Atelier de Lumière is creating quite a stir with that one. They're designed to really make you feel like you're part of the comic.
Oh, that's amazing. I can just imagine myself dodging menhirs. But it's not all high tech, right? I saw an article about an abandoned house being taken over by street art. Talk about immersive. That's got to be incredible.
Oh, absolutely. The Colors Festival in Champigny-sur-Marne is a perfect example of how Parisian artists use unexpected places to get people thinking. Think vibrant murals, installations, all against a backdrop of nature kind of reclaiming this house.
That's incredible.
It makes you think about urban renewal, the power of nature. Really powerful stuff.
That's what I love about Paris, this blend of old and new, classic and cutting edge. And speaking of classic, I've got a soft spot for those impressionists. Anything catch your eye along those lines?
You're in luck. This November is the 130th anniversary of Gustave Caillebott's death. The Musée d'Orsay is putting on a fascinating exhibition to celebrate. Instead of huge retrospective, they're focusing on his unique way of painting men, which is a recurring theme in his work.
Oh, how interesting. I remember studying Caillebotte in college, and his work always struck me as very modern, even for an impressionist. So what's the angle they're taking? Is it portraits or everyday life or something totally different?
It's actually a bit of both. You'll see how he portrayed men in all sorts of settings at home, in cafes, on the streets of Paris, of course. The exhibition really explores how he captured the changing roles of men at a time when society itself was...
Brazil had a good dose of contemporary art. What else do we have on the menu?
Well, the Musée des Arts Décoratifs is hosting an exhibition that's bound to get people talking. It's called L'intime de la chambre aux réseaux sociaux. That's intimacy, from the bedroom to social networks in English.
Okay, that title alone is enough to get me in the door. And it feels so relevant today in our hyper-connected world. So what's the takeaway? How has social media changed our concept of intimacy?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The exhibition looks at how our online selves, the carefully curated versions we present to the world, how those impact our real-life relationships and how we understand intimacy. It's fascinating and a little unsettling at the same time, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. Speaking of unsettling, but in a good way, what's happening at the Palais de Tokyo? They always have their finger on the pulse of what's new and interesting in contemporary art. What's on their radar this November?
They're featuring a really incredible artist named Barbara Chaise-Rubeau. Her exhibition, Quand un nœud est délié, un Dieu est libéré, which translates to When a knot is untied, a God is freed, features her work in sculpture, poetry, even novels. And it all revolves around themes of Black identity, the African diaspora, and civil rights.
Wow, that's quite a mix. It sounds like she's not afraid to experiment or challenge conventions.
Exactly. She's known for her powerful imagery and how she blends different art forms to create truly immersive experiences.
Speaking of immersive experiences, we've only scratched the surface here. Classic paintings, thought-provoking contemporary pieces. It's amazing how much artistic diversity can be found in just one city.
And we haven't even touched on the smaller galleries, which are often home to real hidden gems, up-and-coming artists.
Oh, don't tell me that. Come on, tell me about these hidden gems. What else have you got up your sleeve?
Well, hidden away in these articles, we've got a whole other world dedicated to photography. Everything from snapshots of the past to some really cutting-edge contemporary work.
Ooh, now you're speaking my language. I love photography, the way it captures a moment, tells a story without a single word. What have you got?
Okay, get this. The Gallery AFP, this is their very first exhibition. By the way, they're doing a look back at the liberation of Paris in 1944. Paris, 1944. Une semaine en août. Paris, 1944. A week in August.
Wow.
Yeah, it's photojournalism bringing that pivotal moment in history to life.
Talk about a debut exhibition. Using photography to capture history like that, it's so immediate, so real. You connect with it on a whole other level than just reading dates and facts in a book.
Exactly. And speaking of capturing a moment in time, the Quaidla photo is marking a pretty big one. It's the bicentennial of photography.
200 years. That's incredible.
It is. They're celebrating with a free exhibition that traces the evolution of photography.
A free exhibition. Oh, I'm there.
Yeah.
I can just imagine it, those early daguerreotypes next to sleek, modern prints. It really puts into perspective how far photography has come.
And it's not just about looking back.
Hmm.
The exhibition also delves into contemporary photography and the ways artists are really pushing boundaries today.
Which reminds me, I read about an exhibition called World Unseen at La Villette. It's designed to be accessible to both sighted and visually impaired people.
I saw that.
The idea of experiencing photography through touch and sound, even scent, it's mind-blowing.
It really is incredible. It's proof that art can transcend any limitation by using things like tactile prints, audio descriptions, and yeah, even scents. World Unseen lets everyone experience photography in a whole new way. It's multisensory.
I am putting that one at the top of my list. It speaks to this larger theme. I'm noticing Parisian artists aren't afraid to challenge norms and spark some really important conversations.
That's so true. Take the Gaieté Lyrique, for example. They're doing an exhibition called Transgalactic, using photography and video installations to celebrate trans and queer identities. It's all about challenging traditional ideas about gender.
That's fantastic. It's amazing how art can create a safe space for these kinds of important dialogues. Now, I'm a film buff at heart. Anything that blurs the lines between photography and cinema always catches my eye.
Then you'll want to check out the Jeu de Paume. They're doing a tribute to Chantal Akerman, the Belgian filmmaker and artist. Chantal Akerman Traveling showcases her photography.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, giving you a glimpse into her creative process, her exploration of things like time, memory, the human experience. Really powerful stuff.
Ackerman's films are haunting. There's a raw honesty to them that just stays with you. I bet her photography is just as powerful.
And right next door, you can see another photographic legend, Tina Barney. Her exhibition, Family Ties, features those large format photographs she's known for.
Oh yes, Tina Barney. Her work always makes me feel like I'm looking into the heart of a family, seeing all the little unspoken things, the tensions just below the surface.
Exactly. She's a master of blending documentary and staged elements, creating these images that are both deeply personal and strangely relatable.
That's the power of photography, isn't it? Capturing those essences of a person, a place, a relationship. It's like a window into another world, each photograph a story waiting to be told.
And speaking of stories, Paris is hosting a whole festival dedicated to telling them.
Oh, tell me more.
Don't forget about the Photo Days Festival.
What?
It's a city-wide celebration of contemporary photography. There are exhibitions and events happening at galleries and institutions all over Paris.
It's like the city is saying, come on, get lost in my streets, discover something new. Speaking of discoveries, you mentioned one more photography exhibition. Something about Pasolini. That name rings a bell.
Ah, a fellow film enthusiast.
You know it.
The Italian Cultural Institute is hosting Domenico Notarangelo Pasolini a Matera. It features never-before-seen photographs taken during the filming of Pier Paolo Pasolini's The Gospel, according to St. Matthew, back in 1964.
Wow. Behind the scenes, Pasolini. That's amazing. It's like getting a glimpse into the mind of a master.
The photos capture the filmmaking process and also the incredible beauty of the Matera region of Italy where they shot the film. It's this fascinating intersection of art, history, cinema, all in one.
I am adding that to my list as we speak. This whole deep dive is like a treasure hunt, and each exhibition is a gem waiting to be discovered.
Speaking of gems, there's one last photography exhibition you might find intriguing.
All right, lay it on me. What's the final stop on our photographic journey?
Let's head to the Basilica of Saint-Denis, where photographer Sandra Rainflet is doing something really interesting with her exhibition, Nouvelles Reines, New Queens.
New queens in a basilica. There's a story there. I can feel it.
So Rainflet is placing portraits of modern-day women, many of them from Saint-Denis itself, within the basilica. It's a space that's traditionally been associated with the tombs of French queens. Quite a juxtaposition, wouldn't you say?
It's like she's creating this conversation between the past and present, highlighting the strength of women throughout history.
Exactly. It's about female empowerment and a reminder that art can be a very powerful tool for social commentary.
As we're talking, it strikes me how much bigger this deep dive has become. It's not just about individual exhibitions anymore. It's a reflection of Paris itself, this city where history, art, innovation, they all come together.
You've hit the nail on the head. And that connection between art and the city itself,
Hmm.
it's something we're going to explore even further when we get into our final category.
Oh, you're killing me with suspense. What other artistic adventures await us in the City of Lights? All right, don't keep me in suspense any longer. What other artistic adventures are we diving into? You were saying something about immersive experiences.
Well, you know how we were talking about that trend?
Yes.
Paris is really embracing this whole idea of blurring the lines between art and the audience. And these next few exhibitions are where it's at.
Okay, you've definitely piqued my curiosity. What are we talking about here? Give me an example.
Okay, imagine this. You're at the Palais de Tokyo, right? But instead of those pristine white walls, you're surrounded by this volcanic landscape.
Hold on, volcanoes in Paris.
Exactly. That's stone speakers.
Oh, I see.
It's an installation designed to really awaken the senses.
Wow. So how does that work?
Well, the artist, Julien Charrier, uses sound, rumbling and visual projections, even changes in temperature,
Mm-hmm.
to recreate what it feels like to be standing near an active volcano. It goes beyond just seeing, it's about experiencing art on a whole other level.
That's amazing. I can see why Paris is so drawn to this kind of art. The city itself is such a sensory experience. The grand architecture, the busy streets, the smell of fresh bread everywhere you go.
Right. It's like these artists are tapping into the very essence of Paris and making it tangible.
So cool. Okay, so you sold me on immersive art. What else have we got?
Remember the Atelier de Lumière, the masters of light and sound? This time they're taking visitors on a journey through ancient Egypt.
L'Égypte de Pharaon.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Egypt of the Pharaohs in
Oh,
English.
yeah.
I've seen their work online. It's absolutely breathtaking. I can only imagine what they're doing with light and sound to bring ancient Egypt to life.
It's going to be spectacular.
I bet. And what about something a bit more modern?
Oh, absolutely. Speaking of technology and art, there's an exhibition at the Grand Palais Immersive that I think you'll find fascinating. Pixels, featuring the work of digital artist Miguel Chevalier.
The Grand Palais Immersive. That's the former train station, right? What a transformation. What's so special about this Miguel Chevalier? He's known for these incredibly intricate digital projections, often using artificial intelligence and interactive elements. His work actually changes and evolves based on the viewer's presence.
Wow, so the art itself is alive. That's incredible. This is what I love about the Paris art scene, this constant drive to innovate, this openness to new ideas and technologies. It's so inspiring.
It really is. And yet, in the midst of all this cutting-edge stuff, there's also this deep appreciation for the natural world.
Oh, that's nice. So is there somewhere we can go to kind of escape all the technology for a bit?
Exactly. For something completely different, head to the Jardin des Plantes, the botanical gardens. They're doing something called Automne Tropical.
Wait, immersive art at a botanical garden? How does that work?
Think botanical drawings, lush tropical plants, even a sensory journey through the world of botany, all housed within the stunning architecture of the Grand Serre. It's a celebration of nature's beauty and its power to inspire.
It's incredible how much variety there is in the Parisian art scene. It really is a feast for the senses. I'm feeling overwhelmed in the best way possible.
That's the magic of Paris. It embraces creativity in all its forms. It doesn't matter if you're drawn to the classics or you're captivated by cutting-edge installations. There's something in Paris to spark your imagination.
I'm ready to book my ticket right now, but before I do, thank you so much for being such an incredible guide through this maze of Parisian art. You've given me so much to think about, to explore, to experience.
The pleasure was all mine. There's nothing quite like exploring the art world, especially in a city as vibrant and inspiring as Paris.
And listeners, as you plan your own Parisian art adventures, here's something to think about. With so much to see and experience, how will you navigate this creative wonderland? Until next time, happy art exploring.